over here.
I love how tour forces you to be present. You're not worried about where you're going tomorrow or where you just were. You're worried about where you are right now, and you're experiencing where you are right now, and it's so grounding. It's so peaceful.
Shall we?
I'm right where I am. That's it. I'm just right where I am and nowhere else. Stillness growing. I have, oh my God, I'm having trouble with this without coffee. Like, totally okay. Haven't had coffee today, so I'm like, my brain is like not firing. So I eyeballed it. Fail. All right. I started Lady Lamb when I was 18 years old, and I was living in Maine, where I'm from. I moved to New York when I was 20 years old, and that's when I really started to pursue the project and tour, and I couldn't imagine my life without Lady Lamb. It's like my alter ego, where I'm loud and expressive and just, totally myself and in my element, which is singing for people and experiencing that connection with them.
Cool, so I'll see you at 2 o'clock at the venue. Sweet, all right, bye. All right. Good stuff. I brought this just to play maybe just a riff from Little Flaws. That's the song I'm gonna show you the strings for. Ready? I usually on my records just whine and moan and gripe about a past relationship, so I'm usually reflective looking back and wondering about where I made mistakes. But on this record, it's very much an in-love record. We left the diner and walked into the night. I saw by the 24-hour neon light. I've been with my girlfriend for over 3 years, so she inspired songs like Little Flaws. And there's a fair amount of, spice throughout that's slanting towards fearful, but it's very much in love record. Overwhelmed in the morning light, when I watched your sleeping body breathing, I came to comprehend. The truth is that yes, this record does express everything that I have been trying to get at for years. Because as I'm getting older, I've learned that I have the power to change my perspective. And so if I begin a song feeling nihilistic or negative or scared or nervous or anxious, then in real time I'm fixing that problem by being grateful or observing the world and changing my perspective in the process.
Where are you just turning around? You have to do a pre-show ritual for this video. You can't just stand in front of the bathroom.
How about...
You should have said goddess. You should have whispered goddess to her.
Is there any other
okay, 5 minutes.
This is your official 5 minute.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Bobby. Oh my God, no, why?
Yeah, why?
Why am I doing
You want
this?
to go home?
Yes, immediately.
Wait! People can't wait. People made money. People are here. They came after work.
I was trying to give you a hug.
They came after work. They got babysitters.
That was yummy.
Probably true.
You know?
Right, baby.
2, 3.
Tonight's the night. We've been on the road for 6 weeks on this Deep Love tour. I'm so happy to see you tonight. It's just, I'm so happy. Thank you.
I'm I'm so happy that the stage is a good height for Allie to maybe crowd surf on. I don't know. It's just a thought. Just a thought. I've been trying this whole time to get her to crowd surf.
You love me, but will you catch me?
I know of the vibrant pain when the pitch of your pining is vibrating your vein like an already taught string being tightened, but your mind is thinking of itself. Honey, isn't that something else?
Thank you, Brooklyn. You have my heart. This is my home. All these songs are here. Thank you so much for being with us. Have a great rest of your night and see you next time.
How did you get back on stage?
They took me there. I gotta find Marian. I have to hold Marian. She made me do that. I can't believe you did the guitar.
It was a lot of things. I'm sure that if I asked any of you what the last 6 months have been, you'd say it's been a lot of different things. In a way, it was really cathartic for me to be here, but I was terrified for my life and my career. Just my livelihood was instantly gone. The way that I coped with that was by not thinking about myself as an artist at all. I've been away from Maine for a decade, and I honestly didn't have plans to move back home really ever, but mostly that was because for me, coming back to Maine meant that I was going to settle down and get a house and be near family, and I wasn't totally ready to leave the city. But some things fell into place, and I lived out of my suitcase for the whole year of my Even in the Tremor record campaign and gave up my Brooklyn apartment. And then my sister told me she was pregnant last year, and I immediately just, it wasn't even a thought. It was just like, I need to get back to Maine. I got the idea to do this when I was here alone building my fire pit, and I thought, oh, this is so gorgeous. I'm sad that no one is here to experience this with me. And so I thought, okay, venue. I put one up, and it blew my mind how interested people were in it. So I just started adding more every weekend. It's pretty wild to be in my house shoes and then put on my boots and walk out into my own front yard and pull out my little PA and all of my cables and set up my stage. That's what I do every afternoon of the show. People come down with their lawn chairs and their blankets and their cooler, and it's really fun because I get to hear people walk up to the merch and talk to Erica and say where they came in from. And I'm just in the bedroom, sometimes as a joke we'll bring a couple snacks in. It's my little writer. I'll have last night I had grapes. I'm this is my green room. Yeah, I feed my cats and then I walk out onto the lawn, and there are 50 people here on my property to hear me play. Thank you all for coming out to my house on what might be the last warmish weekend that we have. This is a total request set.
Choose to use your heart if even towards the harshest fate that it may be. Swallow a masticated, mistaken thing.
It's people didn't realize until they came out here just how much live music fulfills something in them. It's just extra of just happiness that they're able to be here and do something different than go to the grocery store and back home again.
I never hear a lick of what I say to myself. Even now, I can tell that I'm not listening to me.
There was a guy who came a few shows ago. He was like, this is gonna sound strange, but I was a little scared to come here. And I was like, oh, what do you mean? He was like, I have been living my life inside a little shell for the last 6 months and like vibrating on this level of trying not to let things affect me emotionally because I'm scared. And I knew in coming here that that was going to be cracked wide open, and I knew it was going to make me emotional, and it did. But now that I've experienced it, I'm so glad that I'm more open. And that, I think, said everything. Like, experiencing music can open one up to feeling emotions that they might have been kind of pushing down a little, but it's so necessary, and that's why I think it's very cathartic for people.
Baby, this is all that I want, it's all I really want, yeah.
I mean, I myself have been closing myself off a little to certain feelings out of fear. And I think that I didn't think of myself as an artist this whole 6 months because I was just very afraid of the future, afraid of my career and how I was going to continue to make a living making music. So I just spent the last 6 months working on the house and being in the quiet and focusing on house projects. That was fine and great, but I'm really grateful that you're here because you're just being here is reminding me what my real identity is, which is as an artist, and that's what's the most fulfilling to me. So thank you for helping me remember who I am. I know that's a deep thing to say, but it's really true.
I never wanna be a bird collapsing beneath its own feather. I never wanna be a bird collapsing beneath its own feather. I never wanna be a bird collapsing beneath its own feather. I never wanna be a bird collapsing beneath its own feather. I never wanna be a bird collapsing beneath its own feather. Collapsing beneath its own feather.